I'm walking alone under the neon lights in a city where I feel like a ghost at night. No one understands my wild, untamed soul. In this world I'm just a stranger, a hole. But I won't conform, I'll let my spirit fly. In this rebel heart, I'm just who I am, you'll see. I'll stand tall, I'll break free. With a smile I'll defy. I've got my books and my dreams, my guitar and my fears. In this chaos I find my peace, my tears. I'll sing songs of my own, of the stars and the moon. In this life I'll dance until the sun. I wear my heart on my sleeve, it's bleeding and raw. In this crowd I'm just a whisper, a shadow, a draw. But when the night falls, I light up the sky. With my laughter I'll conquer the sky. I won't conform, I'll let my spirit fly. In this rebel heart, I'm just who I am, you see. I'll stand tall, I'll break free. With a smile, I'll define. I've got my books and my dreams, my guitar and my fears. In this rebel heart, I'm yes who I am. You see, I'll stand tall, I'll break free. With a smile, I'll defy.
Good morning or good evening, everyone. It is not morning. How are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? Hello, Christopher over on YouTube. How is everyone doing today? Happy Monday, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great from the fun little snowstorm that a good majority of the U.S. had. But otherwise, hope everyone is doing great. Hope you've grabbed your coffee. Otherwise, how's it going? How we doing? Sup, Hunter? Hello, Moon. Bum, 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 bum. How is everyone doing? How is everyone feeling tonight? I got a feeling, ooh, that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. Feeling tonight's the night. Hello, Jess. How you doing? Not too bad. Had a pretty good day overall. How about yourself? I can't complain. Even if I did, it wouldn't change a thing. Quite literally, I shoveled the sidewalk. I shoveled the steps. Put salt out. Cleaned off the cars. That way I can, go do the driving thing tomorrow. Because bills has got to be paid. Uh, we ended up we ended up close to about 4 inches with about half an inch of ice on top. Definitely not the foot that they were expecting, but uh, just like weathermen, you know and men in general, that is afoot. As every single person starts cackling, going, "But Ethan, you're a guy, and I have proof on my, I have proof for my claims." Just saying. Oh no, it gets better. It gets so much better. The kids were out of school today, and they're and they're out of school tomorrow. Hello, Amy, and can confirm he can measure. Unlike unlike the elusive spouse who this is 6 inches is like, what the actual fuck? Hello, Lily. Hello, Desi. Yeah, quite literally, Virginia likes to, see snow and go, well, they're just calling for snow. It's fine. Nah, snow hits the ground, shut down. It's crazy. It is crazy. I'll be shocked if the kids go back before February. Um, I say Thursday. I say it'll be a 2 hour delay Thursday. That would be my guess. At least that's my hope. That's my hope. But we'll see what happens. We had about 13 inches in the last 2 weeks. I just wanted to stop. So was that like 5 and 8 or 6 and 7, like back to back? Get that double team going. It was 2 3 every day for a week and icing at night. Oof. Cthulhu. -20 degrees, so the salt wouldn't work. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, we only got to 5. We only got to 5 degrees last night, but the wind chill took it to -1, which was crazy. Blushed. Cold. It's still cold. Absolute zero. Hey, as I've said, it is always easier to warm up than to cool off. Just just saying. Like I was shoveling snow with just a beanie, like wearing pajama pants, this shirt, a beanie, and some gloves. Shoveling. So even it had even was using the shovel because the ice was so hard, like using the straight edge wasn't getting it. So I was literally pickaxing at the ice And I'm like, born of cold and winter air and mountain rain combining. I've just turned my partner into my own personal body heater. I mean, that's because, everyone wants, eternal Halloween. Bop, 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 bop. So, yeah. But otherwise, fall is absolutely the best season. I mean, I enjoy winter, but that's because my birthday is in winter. Like, and thank you for the raid, son. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are amazing. I appreciate you. Welcome in, welcome in. Y'all shout out to Sun Skull Dream. I appreciate you. Thank you for the raid and thank you for trusting me with your community. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. And Lily with the 10 stream streak. Nice. Nice. All right, all right, all right, all right. I'm hailing my husband to come make friends. Come, join us. We're we're nice, we're kind, we're unhinged as fuck, but you'll enjoy. Come. Husband is here. Well, welcome in. Uh so yes, this is literally I mainly just talk to the community. You know, Heathen is a good intro friend. Don't don't get me wrong, I'm just the face. I'm just the pretty face to look at. I'm the pretty face. I got called a himbo today on TikTok. I was like, I mean, you're not wrong, but which version of a himbo am I? Am I crunk? Poison for Cusco. Poison specifically meant for Cusco. Cusco's poison. Hey, I'm smart. I think you're more than just a pretty face, but that's because of the growls and such. I mean, I have a good voice. But but if I was a Disney character, I'm probably Kristoff. If I was any Disney character, I'd probably end up being Kristoff from Frozen. So he's a fixer upper. Hate Troll Boy. I mean, let's be honest though. It's probably more likely that, you know, oh, you think you're Kristoff, you're Cusco. At the end of the movie Cusco, not beginning of the movie Cusco. Because, you know, that tracks. He's engaged to someone else. Okay? Beware the groove. Beware the groove. Don't mess up the groove. Makes me giggle. But yeah, so quite literally, you know, the normal unhinged degeneracy. I had to I had to sit there and send a message to one of my friends from one of my poly groups who's a page admin, be like, hey, you need to block this person because they're sharing your shit and in the polyam hate groups. So that was fun. Quote, engagement is a flex arrangement. Hi Shelly, hi Brandy. Yeah, my my chat's finally catching up on the Facebook side. Because, you know, par for the course. But yeah, so quite literally, it's been let's just say a fun day. A fun day. You're welcome. But yeah, the one of the craziest things that I had to deal with today was like there've been there've been several things where I of course posted the call out about the former page admin who is doing some fuck shit. So did that. Um and just Jesus. It's rough. Um and then I have a thing for Hi Jan. I have a thing for y'all. And I'm interested to see what because a follower sent me this question in DMs, and I'm honestly unsure how to approach because quite literally they're like, is there a method on or like a protocol, I should say, on how you go about introducing your partners to each other that wants to meet each other? I'm like, the same way you introduce friends would be how I would go about it. So I'm curious. What what steps do you take? Like, I'm curious because quite literally, like, my immediate thought would be you, as you would with introducing with friends. Same thought process. Would be my thought. And the thing is that, like, quite literally, there've been like so many people that have been like, oh well, what's with all the creeps lately? I make sure is somewhere we can all sit and talk openly. Makes sense. To answer your question, Lily, I would say the current state of the world would be part of that answer. The other part, much like Jan said, common sense, so rare it's a goddamn superpower, would be the other answer to that. Me and my partner have discussed this a little. Our plan is to introduce like one would friends. Makes sense. Makes sense. And the thing is that every person determines how much interaction they want with their metas. And that's fine. Like quite literally one of uh one of my metas literally sends me memes. I'm like, appreciate you. Yeah, the introduction doesn't need to be some super formal thing. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And the thing is that like one one of my metas sends me memes constantly. A previous meta literally does check-ins with me from time to time. Will send me a message going, "Hey, just making sure you're still good with the state of the world. Just making sure you're good." I'm like, "I'm good. I'm good." Then I had one person literally tried to sit there and try to be like, platonic relationship is just friends. So how do you define it? If the person say, hey, we're partners, we're just platonic partners. Why does intimacy need to be the definition of a relationship? Why? Yup. Like me me and my battle buddies, like I was sitting there trying to explain to a friend of mine. I was sitting there trying to explain to a friend of mine how hello Everett, the like the way bow bays work for former military, and the best way I can explain it is that bow bays are platonic relationships. They're more than friends. I'm willing to give my life for them. I know they have my back and I have theirs. And so, but it's more than friendship. It's more than my own blood family. Yep, give me a second, love. Windows closed. But that's the thing is that um every relationship, and some people enjoy labels. Cool. Like others do not enjoy labels. Every relationship should be only defined by those in the relationship itself. We have more than one platonic member of our polycule. Good analogy of the battle buddy priest bond. Like one of my battle buddies is Baby Faye and elusive spouse say are is my platonic life mate. And I'm like, why? Why? And it's funny because he and I, long story short, um, his partner is the reason why I have this tattoo. Was when elusive spouse and I first started dating, his wife, he, and elusive spouse were dating. So, but his wife passed away back in 2017. So, quite literally, I don't know how to define other than it's a platonic relationship. Good analogy on the Battle by Priest Bond. I mean, it's the we need. I I feel like we as a society need to stop defining or determining relationships one on their length. You can have successful relationships that are the span of a month. You can have successful relationships that span years. Just because a relationship ends does not mean it wasn't successful. Abusive relationships is a sign of issues and being not successful. But I feel like acceptance on the fact that your partners can grow. You can't sit there and be like, oh, I want to achieve all these things and continue to grow everything and not expect your partner to do the same. And then look at your partner and go, you're not the same person that you were when we first started dating. No one is. You're not the same person from yesterday.
And that should really never be your goal. Stagnation should never be your fucking goal.
Stagnation means death. And Overstem, you did your knee stem thing.
Maybe. Didn't even notice.
Mm. And the thing is that like we need to stop determining not just the quality of a relationship just because it ends, but we need to stop defining a relationship based off of intimacy. There because that does a disservice not just to platonic but also ace or aro relationships. And thank you for the hydrate, Jen. I greatly appreciate it. And because at least the way that I would I expect the community is to be inclusive, to be empathetic and accepting of good evening, Sherry. Doing pretty good. How are you doing? The way I expect the community is to be empathetic. To have that empathy, you don't have to grok a person's life, but you should at least be empathetic towards it. There's a lot of darkness in the world. We don't need to cause more. If that makes any sense.
In most cases, I agree with you. Some people deserve more darkness.
You are you are absolutely right, my love. Sherry, I'm a popsicle, but I'm good. Just a tad stir crazy. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. Empathy is important, absolutely. And the thing is that we are taught from a young age to judge what we see. Perception, according to what my former um, senior army instructor, Colonel McGrew, would say, and rest in peace, Colonel. Um, he would sit there and say, perception is 9/10 truth, and it goes into what my grandfather would say: if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a fucking duck, not a goddamn goose. And we're taught that our perception, our eyes, what we see, is the truth. And the thing is that our perception is colored by our experience. And our perception of an event, when we are actually actively, not through a video, mind you, but actively looking at a situation, our perception, our experiences is colored by our perception. Our perception is colored by our experiences, and both these things are colored by our emotions at that time. It's a perpetual cycle that we need to sit there and be cognizant of, that when we are telling a story. It's why the old adage of there are three sides to every story: person A, person B, and the truth, which is usually an amalgamation of the two. Keyword is usually. And that's one of the key points, that when the person's like, oh well, you're just down talking monogamy, I'm like, no. Every person is different. Do I talk about polyamory a lot? Yes, because I'm polyamorous. Am I sitting there bashing monogamy? No. The same issues that happen in monogamy can happen in polyamory. Sometimes some issues are more prevalent, especially when it comes to missing fucking stairs. Just like the kink community, just like in the gaming community, missing stairs is a fucking thing. But every community, every lifestyle has pitfalls. And it's not downplaying your experiences. It's not downplaying your own issues that you've had. And it's one of the reasons why I talk about polyamory as much as I do and talk about paganism and being a veteran and ADHD is to share and humanize that, because a lot of people just know the concept. They see polyamory and they immediately think, oh, it's the Sister Wives. Or it's that TLC show. Or any number of love triangles throughout the entire course of human history. I can sit there and I think I can name, at least as far as television shows go, name immediately 3 TV shows that have polyamorous representation that is not in a negative light. And quite literally, that's it. But I can sit there and point out, all the love triangles or all the thruples. Hell, Grey's Anatomy has had thruples several times. And it annoys me every single time. I also have high hopes for Ted Lasso because Jamie, Rory, and Keeley, Jamie, Roy, and Keeley would be amazing.
I need you to know that I've respawned these fucking Abras about 700 times.
And especially with the ending scene of Ted Lasso in season 3, where it's Roy, Jamie, and Keeley all sitting together. And that's the thing, is that quite literally, we approaching and understanding that we are and should be constantly evolving, constantly accepting that we do not know everything. No one does. There's not a single person in the world that knows every single thing. We should constantly be growing. We should be constantly changing. To not be constantly changing or not be constantly growing, that means we are not participating in the cycle that is life. Is there going to be ups and downs? Yes. Life is not guaranteed to be easy. Growth is not easy. But tribulation brings enlightenment. You got a shiny Abra? Pretty much. And that's the thing, is that I was talking to one of my Bal buddies, and it was something I shared on my threads, and we were talking about it, and that's why I posted it on threads, was how the song and dance of those that hate on polyamory is the same song and dance we've heard previously. We've heard the same song and dance from about interracial marriage. We've heard the same song and dance about gay marriage. Am I saying that there will be polyamorous protections from in the workplace by the government? No. We're nowhere near close to that. But the thing is that I need, and the crazy part to me is that quite literally people who hate on polyamory, which is surprising to me, is the people who are also LGBTQ. And
Because you can still be LGBTQ and hold traditional values. And so lumping us into those communities can be offensive to them because for a lot of them, we're perverting things still.
even though
But I just, what the fuck does it matter? What's in somebody else's goddamn pants? Or who's putting something else in their goddamn mouth if it's not your pants or your mouth?
hey baby, your pansexual is showing. And that's the thing is that like quite literally the reason why it's annoying to me is that 95% of those who are polyamorous are also LGBTQ.
Majority, yeah.
And I feel like we spend so much energy trying to put other people in boxes to make it a us versus them instead of a we're in this together. Just because I don't share every single virtue that you share doesn't mean that we don't share this.
If I want to eat chocolate cake and you only like strawberry cake and spouse likes both, just there's so much fucking hate in the world, and I will happily add more to it because I'm tired. I'm tired of stupidity. I'm tired of ignorance. I'm tired of fucking people.
Lynette would like you to.
Thanks, Lynette. You too.
So, so to answer your question,
Oh, there was a question?
Lily, is the number that high? I mean, I know both me and my partner are LGBTQ. Lynette, poor Faye. Hugs.
I would say that in reality, it's probably closer to 66%. I was going to say 65,
Well,
but we'll say 66. And the reason I say it is so low is because
I'm not including swingers or open relationships. I'm just polyamorous.
so just that
Just
section of the umbrella.
just that section of the umbrella, I would say it's 95%. And the reason why I say this is that a good majority are somewhere either on the sexual orientation or the romantic orientation under the LGBTQ umbrella. And
QIA, especially if you're
because you could be demi-romantic, aromantic, any of those, and still under that umbrella. And, also with a good majority, much like Primal Chicken said, I also find polyamorous men tend to be more understanding about neurodivergent needs because quite literally, a good majority of us are somewhere on the spectrum, being ADHD or ADHD or former military, because a good majority of genderqueer section, exactly. So, looking at the microcosm of just the polyamorous community, I would say yes, it's in the 90% range. Now, yes, if you open to swingers and open relationships, that number does plummet. It is probably closer to what Babyface said, probably around the 60% range, but it is still up there. But because of sister wives, we have this. A lot of people equate polyamory to polygamy because how dare it share the same fucking root word of poly, which is another reason why I use polyamory or polyam, that what I've noticed from having been polyamorous for as long as I have, and I'm sure Babyface would agree with that, there are people who are polyamorous tend to be more comfortable searching their dynamics in multiple aspects, whether that's their sexuality, their gender, their romantic orientation, the relationship orientation themselves, their kink, so many different things. And they expand or broaden their horizons instead of locking into a narrow point of view.
Narrow things down to save my life.
It's why Por qué no las dos, or why not both, is a constant thing that a lot of polyamorous people say. People say it as a joke, but it's kind of true. Us make choices? Shit. They're pretty different. It's almost like, it's almost like being able to explore different relationships and how they change you and how they affect you, you know, changes how you see yourself. Sup, Phenom? How you doing, brother?
Hey, Phenom.
How's it going, my friend?
Ooh, breeze.
Found the breeze. What do you mean? Mm. I'm alright, just hating the weather. Grok. Completely grok. You okay up there? I was in your neck of the woods last week. I had to drive a passenger up to Northwest. Got stuck on 95 for 2.5 hours. Exactly. And quite literally, no one truly is exactly the same as they were yesterday. No one is truly exactly the same as they were a year ago. Like, quite literally, the amount of things that I have learned about myself over the course of over the course of being polyamorous. Like, originally, I thought I was demisexual. That is not the case. I'm demi-romantic. I am pansexual, though. And quite literally, and it's through that exploration of myself, and I've also tapped more into my kink side. Like, I've explored more in that space, and at least as far as roles go. And quite literally, I feel like we put too much onus on relationships being everything. Like, when it comes to monogamy, that your partner has to be your confidant, your best friend, all these things, and quite literally all it does is put them in a cage. Is one of the things about resentment, and that causes so much resentment and anger and malice. And when that relationship ends, everything, they're left without their partner, their best friend, their confidant, and they spiral. And so, like, exactly. And it's one of the reasons why, like, you know, I sit there, and whenever someone is like, oh, well, you're just bashing monogamy, I'm like, no, if monogamy is right for you, it's right for you. I'm not going to sit there and say that, you aren't monogamous. That is not for me to decide. That is not from my input. But if I'm not going to bash monogamy, don't bash polyamory. Like, if you have trauma due to, you know, being a polyamorous quote unquote relationship and your partner cheated on you, okay, I get that you have trauma associated with polyamory due to a partner cheating on you. Cool. Get it. Grok. But that's about that partner being an asshole, not polyamory itself. Demon going to bed.
And then I was realizing that it's cold enough. I have to run pipes tonight, but our kitchen sink is on a timer, so I'm not sure how to do that other than just leaving the cabinets open underneath.
I would say leave cabinets open underneath.
Yeah, they're open. We'll see if your cat exists.
If my cat cats. And that's the thing. And when it comes to ethical, and this is where there's a lot of discussion going on in polyamorous spaces, and when it comes to ethical versus consensual non-monogamy. All right, your ethics is not everyone's ethics. The ethics you were raised in society is not someone else's ethics in society, because every culture and subculture has their own ethics, which is a problem. So, what may be ethical in one place in the world is not ethical here. That's why there's a lot of discussion about ethical versus consensual non monogamy. The thing is that absolutely, and that's where boundaries versus rules becomes a part of the discussion. If you do I'll do this, is a boundary. You can't do this. And the thing is that every time I bring up boundaries versus rules, people are like, "Well, that's just semantics." I'm like, "No, it's warning because it is protecting yourself and your own self-respect and your own self-worth versus you're not allowed to do this." Rules are about control, and they're based on control. Boundaries are, if you do this, then for my own sake, I will do this. It's not restricting your limit or your ability. It's so you're aware, if you do this thing, I will do this. Like one that I've heard in the past is, I do not like being yelled at. I do not like being snapped at. If you yell or snap at me, I'm going to stop this conversation and leave the conversation, calling for a timeout until we can be more calm. It it's simple. You would think, but a lot of people don't understand nuance. Just like a lot of people don't understand media literacy. Pretty sure everyone's just listening, going, "Damn, Heathen's in a mood today." And the thing is that, like, quite literally, oh my fucking god, media literacy is not good in this country. I had someone today, or I had someone previously try to sit there and say that that Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy of One Piece, would be a conservative. I went, "Are you fucking stupid?" The man who literally says, one, started a war with an entire fucking government because a child went hungry. Literally overthrew a basically entire black market slave auction because they hurt his friend. That Luffy? Okay. So yeah. And the thing is that over time, we as humanity have so short memories. We have so short memories, and is both a good thing and a hindrance to us. If we had longer memories, we would have, or if we had longer lives, our culture would be more stagnant than it already is. if you compare our lives to where it was even 20 years ago, people would agree that it's much worse. Compared to 100 years ago, just before the Great Depression, things have gotten better. Is it great? No. But it is better than it was 100 years ago. And quite literally, humanity's natural point is progress. People keep every time I bring that up, people keep going, well, you know, we have to limit progress. Too much progress is a bad thing. I'm like, every time I've heard that point, it's from people that benefit from the status quo. Every time I've heard that point, it's always from someone who benefits directly from the status quo. And it's harmful. It's also completely asinine. Your ass is a nine. And that's the thing is that progress is important for civilization to finally be actually realized instead of just a bubble daydream. Yup. Yo 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 ho 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 ho. What's up, Deathlock? How we doing? Sup, Drago? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Giving the Joey Tribbiani vibe. I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. Even if I did, it wouldn't change a thing. Just bitching about people being stupid. How are you doing? I'll be a bit better next week. Oh, good things, Drago? Good things, I hope. Tonight's gonna be good. Thank you for following over on Facebook, Rachel. I greatly appreciate it. Coping. Ooh, what's the new job, Drago? Bop, bop, bop. I gotta love when people try to prove me wrong about, one of my special interests. I'll be a site supervisor, kind of like the site manager for a self-storage facility here in town. Nice. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, someone was commenting on one of my posts that the entirety of all the Aragon books, which technically, keyword technically, they're correct, came out by 2011. That included Murtaugh. I'm like, no. The first four books, Aragon, Eldest, Brislinger, and Inheritance, came out by 2011. But Murtaugh, which follows Murtaugh's point of view, taking place a year after Inheritance, came out in 2023. Part time at $20 an hour. Nice. That's awesome. Oh, I left that comment like an hour and a half ago at this point, and he still hasn't responded yet. I'm like, okay, Google is free, y'all. So yeah. I remember when Murtaugh came out. Absolutely. See, I read Aragon when it came out in 2003. I was really annoyed with how the inheritance cycle ended. Really annoyed. But, I also was a big Aragon Arya shipper. So I was severely annoyed. Severely annoyed. I'm like, womp womp. Going to try and keep my current job, but only on Saturdays. But they probably will just let me go because then I'm not a placeholder. Makes sense. Off. Same. I was so disappointed with how it ended. Um, so if you get the Murtaugh book, if you get Murtaugh, get the special edition because there's an extra scene where he has a conversation with Aragon. That's very important. Just FYI. Like, this is the regular book. That's the special edition. It's pretty. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. The I threw my energy drinks on my throne because I'm like, maybe someone will take pity on me and get me my energy drinks. Nice. I've never. I see the benefit to Treat Street. Don't get me wrong, but I just have the whole if I set up a treat stream, it wouldn't be for me. It wouldn't be for me. Treat stream allows chat to send Uber Eats.
Somebody fucking feed me.
Lily, I will so be doing that, especially since I've seen people gift other streamers stacks and monster off of throne. Yup. And the thing is that like quite literally, treat streams interesting because it allows for Uber Eats or DoorDash, and quite literally, I know for a fact it would not be for me.
I said what I said. Fucking feed me. So hungry. I went downstairs to look for food, and all shit I cooked.
Drago, it's not for me. Looks at my peanut gallery. Quite literally. I, I nearly I nearly set up a thing where it's feed the baby Faye.
Stop talking, start doing, friend.
I would have to. It's Grubhub for us, and it's only $28.99 max for orders. That makes sense. I think. Hold on. Let me pull up the thing because it's. I think it's slightly higher for me, but I'm also actively in a city. It's been so long since I. Um, okay, got it. My treats. Add new treats. Proceed. Yeah, Papa John's or Grubhub is is what my treat stream is, and quite literally, um, yeah. So I don't see a max. Treat stream gave you $10 off your first order. Lol. Also, the minimum amount of time between orders is 2 hours. But yeah, like quite literally, I'll I'll probably sit down with Baby Faye and be like, all right, what treats do you want on here? That way it's there.
Puts the treats in the street, or else he gets the hose again.
They would enjoy having you throw water on me. Is the problem. But yeah, like quite literally, it's definitely something interesting. I'm going to have to take a look at resetting up. I had it originally when I first started streaming, but it wasn't as lucrative then as it is now. Um, oh, my keyboard's dying. That's awesome. Drago, you giving away a free wet t-shirt look for us? Really, paramedic? Really? I I would I would quite literally.
I use that. I use it more than he does. Absolutely not. It's my favorite toy in my arsenal.
Paramedic C. Faye has the right idea. See, Drago,
Hi, paramedic.
quite literally, I would sit there and go, yeah, okay, I'll do a white wet t-shirt for 100 subs, and the next thing I know, there's 100 subs. I'll be like, you motherfuckers.
If you do it tonight, I'll even go throw the wet t-shirt out in the ice for 5 minutes before he puts it on. I'm hungry. You looked betrayed. I'm sorry. I'm hungry.
I said 100 subs. I did say.
That translates to money to feed me later. Way the conversion went.
You open the door and chat will walk through it.
Hi, Lynette.
Betrayed by my own community. See, this is why I say I'm just pretty face here. Lynette, hi Faye. The urge to make a smartass comment? I mean, that's you though, paramedic. Lily, I like walking through doors. It if quite literally the counter gets to 100 subs, sure, I would do a white t-shirt contest. I would put on a white wet t-shirt.
Let's be very clear. It's not a contest. I'm not participating. Need to be very clear. I don't do ice play.
I'm vastly well aware.
They're not.
Paramedic, well, Faye is one. And that's the thing, is that like quite literally Drago whistles as I come back from Discord. Drago, buddy, pal, it ain't gonna happen. It's not. I know.
We got a new sub.
Thank you for subscribing, Lily. I greatly appreciate it. We're now at 18. Why are you? Oh, Lily wants that wet t-shirt pic in SFW selfies. Probably where we'll have to go because,
Nipples.
because Twitch and Twitch and other places get big mad. Big mad. See, this is how I ended up getting the ice bucket challenge the last time. It's all for science, even. No, it's not. No, it's not. You just want me in pain, Draco. That's because you're very much German. Yes. You're petty activated into Schadenfreude. Draco, yes, it is. It's for biology and physics. I mean, quite literally, I I set my expectations low. Just sit right there.
This one, I don't know when it happened.
That's the Alolan Marowak.
It is.
I don't like it shiny.
It's an. It's. It. I don't. I don't know when that happened though.
I mean, that's because Drago's like the mad scientist of the community. Science! Lynette's like, you're not wrong. Excuse me. I never said. Lynette, raw science, baby Faye. Babyface said she likes science, especially raw science. Giggity. Hey, love, you're about to be thrilled. Uh huh.
That does. That does throw me.
At some point, it's going to start having your when you're trying to say heater to heathen. I'm gonna laugh. Lily, my phone does that too now. Look, you're taking over people's phones, love.
As well, I should.
It's your Fey magic. Who the fuck's Baby Faye? Ah, yes. Give give Baby Faye more sucker to become a god. Uh, um. So Drago, let's do a lesson, shall we? Let's do a lesson. I'm I'm teaching mode. Teaching mode. All right. That's funny, Lily. That's amazing. Um, chat and cam, window capture. Specifically, I want that one. All right. So Draga, what part of Stream Elements are you wanting to figure out? All right. So that's actually super simple. All right. So if you come here to the hamburger that's right here, which for those that don't work in IT, when it's 3 lines, it's called the hamburger. Don't know why, but it is. All right. So I'm going to start with chatbot. Now, the most used thing is going to be your chat commands. Now, if you notice, most of these are off for me because I have other methods of doing commands. The only one I do have is the tip alias. All right. But you can also set up custom commands where this is where basically any of these can be used if they are on. Okay? Super simple. Now, if you are using Mix It Up, which we all know that's untrue. All right, the easiest method is this import function right here. If you click import, you can import from Streamlabs, Nightbot, Deepbot, or if you have the CSV file. All right, this imports your timers, your commands, and all of that. Or you could just do it manually. Now, little fun fact about the custom commands. Anytime that you agree to any of the partnerships that are here, at least through the Stream Elements dashboard, it will add a command like, say I click join campaign. All right. Okay. It will add a command under custom commands for the Marvel command. All right. That's the case with any of the sponsorships. It will add a custom command. You can see any one of the ones I've done previously. All right. User management. Basically, these are bot users. All right. Modules for chat alerts. This is what says, hey, we're about to take a quick break. You can do vote kick, where viewers can vote to kick people out of chat. Play bingo, shit like that. Pretty self-explanatory, each of these. All right. Including emote combos, slot machine, a ball, blah 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 blah. I don't have a lot of these going because I don't find them interesting. Of course, you've got your timers where basically it's every certain amount of time. The encounters where, like, you can add a death counter where you count how many times you die, so on and so forth. Um, these are custom things like how many times has he even cussed in a stream, or shit like that. Spam filters. This is mainly for the bot itself. Quite literally. Caps protection, link protection. I use Streamlabs over anything, so I'm not too worried about this one. Banned words. Again, I use Streamlabs, but you can use that. Quotes. Now, here's the fun thing with quotes. I can add a quote here. So let's say, remember coffee and tea count as water. All right. So I save my quote. All right. Now that the quote's created, come up to chat commands. I should be able to find. Yeah. So if I turn on this quote, all right, and type quote, have to make sure I send it to Twitch. Stream Elements will pop it up there. Make sense? And there used to be a way where you could add quotes. I'm pretty sure it's like add quote. It's in Streamlabs, I know that much. Let me turn this quote off. So, and then of course settings. All right. See how it says Streamlabs or Stream Elements bot is currently active in your channel? So this is not true. If you're using Stream Elements bot, make sure it's here. All right. Now, the other fun thing that you can do, dashboard. Dashboard is pretty self-explanatory. This is how many people have subscribed during the course of this month. You can see by month how many raids have came in. how many bits, how many followers have been gained. As you can tell, you can go all the way back. See, last January we gained 59 in the month. That's how many subscribers, Lynette. And that's how many bits. See? But you can see the breakdown from sponsorships. Thought you would appreciate the call out. So on and so forth. All right. And then down here, you can see like this is how often the ads will roll. If I press the button, but because I have it set up to where it's automatically every like 25 minutes, that's one of the key points. I can also pause pre-rolls or do the snooze here. I can fast forward time frame, so on and so forth. And see tips. There's 0 tips because I've never gotten tipped. Followers, how many followers I've gained each day. Subscribers. Bits, raids, redeem, merch. And because of stream elements, everything. So if I look at merch, go to December. See, it doesn't have the fourth wall link in stream elements. So if I did, see, it doesn't tell you how many each bit was, just how many events there are. So this dashboard isn't that useful overall, but it can be useful if you're just wanting like a fly-by-wire. Then of course the activity feed. Which is also, again, super helpful. You've got your revenue, which has your tipping settings for SE Pay, has the merch. See, I can see from here each person who, like, what product was ordered. All the way back to when I basically opened fourth wall. Then, of course, SE Pay, which is the tipping settings. As you see, nothing ever in, which is, again, unsurprising. And yeah. So this is all stream elements. Since you're playing more on console, I would focus on getting your tipping settings set up and your like if you're using SE Pay, use SE Pay. If you're using Ko-Fi, use Ko-Fi. And make sure that your chat commands and your timers are set up. Would be where I would focus, if that makes any sense. And thank you for the follow on Facebook, Michael. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Wrong one. So yeah. So there's a little bit of a walkthrough. Um, whatever commands, like if you want an example of, like, I can sit there and go to, let me log into this real quick. Will it not show? Does it not? Okay, cool. All right. So like if I wanted to sit there, this is Streamlabs. I can sit there and do Stream Elements, import from Stream Elements. If I wanted to export, though, what? See how this says inactive? Which is annoying. This is why. There we go. See? So, but that would be why my thing wasn't working. But like, see how commands, these are all my custom commands. Um, see how there's an add quote here? But I've limited it to moderators. If I click here, I can change it to also subscribers as well. And now should be add quote. Chaos reigns. So quite literally, if you wanted to, as a, say, it even tells you what I was streaming when I said it. So yeah. That's basically how the quote system and how different bots work. But you can also, like with Streamlabs, now realize with Streamlabs you have to pay for, which is the annoying part. Uh, but it has a lot of the same versatility as Stream Elements. So that's why if you want to use it, you don't have to. You can, but yeah. And ad break. But yeah, I hope all that makes sense, Drago. All right, it is 10:30 almost. So let's figure out who are we rating. Drago, are you streaming tonight? Thank you for the follow, Kate. I greatly appreciate it. I'm glad you like Lily. I'm glad you enjoyed. Yeah, take your time, bud. Oh. Oh. Hello, Star. How are you doing? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? LP with the hydrate. Perfect, Drago. I'll let you get set up and everything, so I'll send in about 5 minutes. Happy birthday, Star! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Trying to, LP, trying to. We're about to be hopping off and heading to Drago's stream here in a second.
Laura does not want to spawn shiny for me.
Who?
The fossil, the little dragon thing.
That makes sense. You're welcome, Star. Make it 10 to skip ads. They start in 4 minutes and are 2 minutes long. Jesus. Fair. That's fair, bud. But yes. And so quite literally, um, y'all can blame my battle buddies for this. Quite literally, they're like, "Oh, the reason why you set a time limit for the 1,000 challenge is that way you could get out of it." So basically, whenever we hit 1,000 followers, whenever it happens, Star. Quite literally, whenever it happens, y'all will see Baby Faye yank the hair off my legs. Whenever it happens. It'll be great. It'll be hilarious. I'll cry like a little bitch.
That is true. Yeah, you will.
I know my life. Y'all actually will see tears streaming down my face. Why? because it's not happening in my birthday month?
No, because that was my shiny for that rum.
The Galarian Mime? Mm. It's cold here, but no snow and no ice. Valid. I should see if I can bribe my followers. Jesus. Fair. Oh. But yeah, going to give Drago a few more minutes. But spooky, scary skeletons, shivers down my spine. Now I have that song stuck in my head. Thank you, LP. I greatly appreciate it, bud. Going to have that stuck in my head all freaking day now. Thanks.
What you mean is you'll be laying on your pillow in about 20 minutes going, damn it.
Pretty much. When that night, LP, hey, it's better than Baby Shark. Jamie Tart do 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 do. Jamie Tart do 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 do. Jamie Tart do 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 do. Jamie Tart. What? No, we haven't watched Ted Lasso at all. Perfect. All right, we are going to start the raid. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Y'all have an amazing day. I love y'all. If y'all need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out. Y'all are amazing. You are loved. You are cherished. And remember, coffee and tea do count as water. So, for all my brats that are in the stream, enjoy taunting your toms with that. Otherwise, y'all have a good night. Love y'all. And enjoy spending some time with Drago.